General Hospital spoilers tease that one of the new storylines reshaping the entire landscape in Port Charles is the profound shift in how Jason Morgan is approaching the truth behind Jack Brennan's shady actions. Known for being quiet yet always acting with a clear goal, Jason is now becoming the center of a dramatic underground investigation as he uncovers a series of crimes cleverly hidden in Brennan's past. What seemed like disconnected details, from distorted intelligence, mysterious poisonings, to manipulated DNA evidence at crime scenes, are gradually being pieced together by Jason into an undeniable chain of events, revealing a completely different side of Brennan, no longer the trustworthy man many once thought him to be. What makes this even more explosive is the noticeable change in Jason's approach. Previously, he kept his distance, handled situations in silence, and only intervened when absolutely necessary, but now Jason is taking the initiative every step of the way, relentless in gathering evidence and confronting dangerous forces. Additionally, Jason's motivation is no longer just justice, it's also to protect Carly and Jocelyn from irreparable harm. The truth that Brennan may have manipulated Jocelyn into life-threatening situations, even using her as a pawn in WSB's operations, is fueling Jason's smoldering anger. And when that anger erupts, no betrayer will escape the consequences. Another significant shift is how Jason is leveraging old alliances, from Anna to Dante, even using underground sources who once served in his former organization, to expand his investigation network. Jason is no longer working alone. He knows time is not on his side, and if he doesn't act decisively, Brennan will continue to cause more damage. Every time Jason uncovers another secret, Brennan's layers of deceit are peeled back, making his presence in Port Charles increasingly intolerable. This story is developing in an unpredictable direction, because once Jason starts, he won't stop until the truth is revealed. And when Brennan's actions, including manipulating evidence, controlling Jocelyn to commit murder, and nearly costing Carly her life, are exposed, the shockwave Port Charles will face will not just be the shattered relationship between Carly and Brennan. It could lead to a major restructuring of WSB, a chain reaction that Brennan never anticipated, and even a price paid with his life. Jason, with each slow but sure step, is changing the entire course of the story with his resilience and unwavering loyalty to those he loves. The explosion he's quietly setting in motion is not just a punishment for a betrayer, it's a wake-up call for anyone who dares to use power to manipulate the truth. And in this battle where justice and emotions intertwine, Jason is not just an investigator, he is the blade that cuts through all the lies. The shocking revelation from Jason has rocked Port Charles. Brennan is the mastermind behind the entire chaotic series of events involving Valentin. What seemed like Valentin's personal wrong decisions is now exposed as the result of a grand conspiracy, manipulated from the shadows by Brennan, a dangerous and highly strategic individual who controls and turns those around him into tools for his own plans. Jason, with his sharp intuition and unwavering protective instincts, knows that if Brennan can manipulate someone like Valentin, anyone within his influence is at risk of being destroyed, especially Jocelyn Jacks. Since Jocelyn joined WSB, Jason has been quietly monitoring her every move. Initially, he respected her decision, understanding that she needed to explore her own path. But after piecing together fragments from Valentin's confession, the odd connection between Brennan and WSB's operations, and signs that Jocelyn had been placed in dangerous situations without proper protection, Jason realizes it's no longer time to stand by. He knows that Jocelyn is not just a new recruit, she was brought into the organization by someone with ulterior motives, someone who can exploit her for darker personal goals than anyone could imagine. Everything Jason uncovers only makes the bigger picture more chilling. Valentin may just be a pawn in Brennan's control plan, and the truth is that Brennan had long since devised a plan to create a network of key figures serving his agenda, an agenda WSB may be unaware of or even infiltrated from within. Brennan's orchestrating poisonings, manipulating data, and even planting false DNA evidence at the crime scenes related to Cyrus is just the tip of the iceberg. With Jocelyn, Brennan didn't just bring her into WSB, he arranged high-risk missions, controlled information, and isolated her from those who could protect her, like Carly and Jason. Jason now has no choice but to act. He's not just investigating, he's planning a direct confrontation, not just to protect Jocelyn but to dismantle the entire web of lies Brennan has constructed. What's happening is no longer just the story of one manipulated person, it's a system rotting from within. Jason realizes that if he doesn't act, not only will Jocelyn but all of Port Charles will suffer the consequences. And in this process, Jason is also beginning to feel the weight of his past bearing down on him. He was once a part of the underground world, held many secrets, and made sacrifices to protect those he loved. But now, he's no longer the man who can act in silence. He must step into the light, using every connection, every skill, and his past to expose Brennan. Because more than anyone else, Jason knows that victory doesn't just come from collecting evidence. It comes from making everything Brennan has built crumble, piece by piece. In this tense moment, no one knows for sure what will happen next. But one thing is clear, with Jason in the game, and the truth about Brennan slowly coming to light, Port Charles will never be the same. A war is about to break out, not just between characters, but between what is right and the lies that have deeply rooted themselves in organizations once thought untouchable. And in this war, Jason is not just the protector, he is the fire that will burn down the night Brennan has built. The battle brewing between Jason and Brennan is no longer just a confrontation between two men with opposing ideals, but has escalated into a fight that could change the entire power structure in Port Charles, and even extend beyond the town's borders. With what Jason has just uncovered, Brennan is no longer just a shadowy figure working behind the scenes. He is at the center of a criminal network, a dangerous manipulator who is systematically toppling the values that Jason and many others have fought to protect. Jason, with all his scars, vigilance, and unshakable loyalty, can no longer turn a blind eye. After learning that Brennan was involved in pushing Valentin down a dark path, Jason understands that this is no longer a matter of a few individuals. Brennan has dragged many into his bloody power play, especially Jocelyn Jax, whom Jason sees as a daughter. Brennan's involvement in bringing Jocelyn into WSB is no longer an honor or an opportunity for growth, it's a carefully laid trap designed to turn her into a tool for his far-reaching control scheme. Jason cannot accept this. The clear shift in his strategy is now evident. From a silent protector working from the shadows, he is now stepping to the front lines, unafraid to confront Brennan openly and directly. Jason's actions are no longer isolated moves, they are part of a campaign. He's expanding his network, connecting with those who once worked in WSB, reaching out to Anna, tracking Brennan's links to secret operations, and finding ways to publicly expose everything Brennan has tried to hide. Carly, caught in the middle of the storm, is shocked by each new piece of truth revealed. Everything she once trusted about Brennan, that he was calm, a good listener, and brought her stability, is now slowly unraveling. When Jason presents evidence showing that Brennan not only manipulated Jocelyn but also interfered in the Valentin and Cyrus cases, even planting fake DNA to frame Jason for murder, Carly no longer knows what's real and what's false. The greatest pain is not being deceived, it's realizing that Jason may have been right all along, and she deliberately ignored the warning. The shock Carly is facing is clear proof of the devastation spreading. It's not just the crumbling of her relationship with Brennan, it's the feeling of betrayal from something she thought was safe. That relationship, once a source of support, has now become the deepest wound in her heart. And as everything falls apart, Jason remains the only one standing firm, the one who's always acted for her, protected her, and now, the only one fighting to pull her out of danger. The battle between Jason and Brennan is no longer about the past, about honor, or personal grudges. It's a battle for the future. Jason knows that if he doesn't take down Brennan, no one can guarantee the safety of Jocelyn, Carly, or even all of Port Charles. Brennan is the embodiment of a sophisticated underground force, intelligent and willing to use any means necessary to achieve his goals. But Jason isn't fighting for power, he's fighting for the people he loves. And that makes him more dangerous than any enemy Brennan has ever faced. The coming days will see Port Charles witness one of the tensest and most explosive chapters yet as Jason begins to launch direct attacks, each step unveiling the truth about Brennan. Carly will have to make difficult choices, believe in the painful truth, or continue to live in the falsehood Brennan so carefully constructed. And when all secrets are exposed, there will be one certainty, Jason will not stop until Brennan loses everything. This is a battle he must win, not just for himself, but for his family, for Jocelyn, and for Carly. Carly and Jason are stepping into a new chapter filled with chaos and determination, as the truth about Brennan can no longer be buried. This is not merely a spur-of-the-moment action driven by anger or hurt, it is the culmination of all the losses, shocks, and betrayals they have endured. Their reunion is not romantic or nostalgic, but rather a clear declaration: they will not allow Brennan to continue destroying the lives of those they love. Carly, after a period of trying to believe in the good in Brennan, has now awakened to the chain of events he caused, from manipulating Jocelyn, planting fake DNA to frame Jason for a crime, to his schemes involving Valentin and the WSB. With the heart of a mother and an unyielding spirit, Carly understands that staying silent now would only assist in the crime. She decides to enter the battle not impulsively, but with a carefully laid plan, resolute in her actions. And the one person she fully trusts to stand by her side in this fight is Jason. Jason, with the information he's gathered during his investigation, knows that Brennan is no longer just dangerous because of his power, but because he is willing to destroy anyone, even those closest to him, to protect his network. Jason's involvement in this battle is no longer personal, it is a duty. He had once stepped away from a life of violence, taking steps to keep his loved ones safe. But now, seeing Jocelyn pulled into danger by Brennan, Jason can no longer stand by. He returns not to kill, but to stop a nightmare that could engulf all of Port Charles. As Carly and Jason begin to coordinate their actions, each step they take sends ripples. They are not just two individuals diving into an investigation, but a pair who understands each other in minute detail. One knows when the other will react, when to step back, when to strike. Carly uses her connections in the community to gather information from places Jason cannot reach, while Jason utilizes his skills and underground contacts to uncover traces Brennan thought he had erased. It is this combination that shifts the battle from a passive response to an active offensive. What Brennan had hidden is now being exposed. Confidential documents, secret recordings, tampered WSB reports, and names related to his schemes are starting to surface in Jason's investigation. Meanwhile, Carly uses her sharp intuition to find people who may have been victims of Brennan but are too scared to speak out. Each step is a discovery, and every truth revealed tightens the noose around Brennan. Brennan's position is no longer merely dangerous, he is being cornered. From a man who once controlled every game, he now faces the reality of being hunted for his reputation, status, and possibly even his freedom. The allies who once stood behind him are now starting to doubt and back away as they see Carly and Jason push past their fears to uncover the truth. Carly and Jason's presence not only threatens Brennan's personal schemes but shakes the very foundation of the underground network he has built and relied on. What makes this fight particularly intense is not just the power of the information Jason holds or Carly's determination, but the fiery energy that comes from the reunion of two individuals who were once at the heart of every major battle Port Charles has seen. Carly is no longer the woman who reacts emotionally. She is a true warrior. Jason is no longer the man who lives in the shadows, he is stepping out, standing beside Carly to end once and for all the chaos Brennan has caused. When they stand together, Brennan is no longer the one in control, he is the prey being hunted. And in the darkness of crumbling schemes, Carly and Jason are reigniting hope, not just for each other, but for all of Port Charles. This fight will not end with an apology, but with the truth, justice, and perhaps a bloody price to pay for all the sins Brennan has spread. Valentin is unexpectedly gaining a significant advantage amid the fierce battle between Brennan and Jason, an advantage he himself did not foresee. As the confrontation between the two most powerful forces in Port Charles begins to escalate, all eyes are on them, creating a wave of tension that envelopes the entire town. Yet, amidst the smoky haze of this battlefield, Valentin begins to realize that he is in a position to shift the balance of power, as the forces that once sought to manipulate him are now destroying each other. Brennan once used Valentin as a key pawn, manipulating him with empty promises, even pushing him into illegal situations to cover up his own actions. But now, as Jason corners Brennan, every truth about Brennan's past is being uncovered, and Valentin's name is appearing on the list of those he has manipulated. However, this time, Valentin is no longer just a pawn. He could become the last man standing, if he knows how to exploit the changing tides. What makes the situation even more explosive is the unexpected involvement of Charlotte. The daughter Valentin once tried to protect at all costs could now become the element that throws everything out of control. Charlotte, though young, has shown a strong, independent personality and is not afraid to step into the dark if necessary. If she discovers that her father is being pushed into danger or senses that Brennan is the source of Valentin's pain, she could act in ways no one expects. And that potential action from Charlotte could be one of the biggest shocks yet. Will she try to approach Brennan? Could she steal information, reveal secrets, or even do something that neither Valentin nor Jason can control? Valentin knows his daughter better than anyone, and his fear is not just about what Brennan or Jason will do, but that if Charlotte gets pulled too deep, he could lose everything. Valentin is at a crossroads. He can either use the situation to save himself, withdraw from the dangerous network, and start fresh, or be dragged back into the chaos if he cannot control Charlotte's unexpected emotions and actions. The obsession with keeping his daughter safe, preserving what's left of his personal honor, is becoming a burden greater than ever before. While Jason continues to tighten the noose around Brennan and Carly moves closer to the truth, Valentin will have to choose, remain on the sidelines or become the one holding the key to exposing the entire conspiracy. Whatever he chooses, one thing is already clear: Charlotte's involvement in the next developments could be the spark that ignites all the secrets, plunging Port Charles into an unprecedented shock. And this time, Valentin cannot run. He must face the past, protect the present, and sacrifice whatever it takes to keep his daughter from becoming part of the nightmare he once tried to escape.